Hello everyone, welcome back to Powerpuff Month. I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Jayson.
Jayson, what are we watching today, man?
We're watching Powerpuff Girls.
Well, that's true, because it's Powerpuff Month. I mean, it would be a little bit strange if we did a Tick episode, or Batman, or Spider-Man, right after I said Powerpuff Month. What episode are we watching?
The Powerpuff Girls Best Rainy Day Adventure Ever.
I love absurdly long titles like that.
Yeah.
I thought it would be fun to bring Jayson in on this one in particular. Now, you hadn't watched this before.
No.
We just watched this in preparation of this. Did you like this one?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We'll talk about all the things that are really fun in this episode. But I thought this would be a cool one to pick for a couple reasons. One, because it's actually raining outside here today. So our rainy day adventure is watching the Powerpuff Girls Best Rainy Day Adventure Ever and talking about it for you. But the other reason is because, Jayson, it occurred to me that you're actually the same age as the Powerpuff Girls. Did you know that?
No.
They're in kindergarten. You're just now getting out of kindergarten. Mm-hmm. You're actually in your last week of kindergarten.
Yeah.
Aren't you? Yeah, cool. Great. Man, it feels like only yesterday I took you to school for the first time, and we took pictures at your table at school. And he's at exactly the right age for this kind of thing. So I imagine, Jayson, that you probably, this episode probably resonated with you a lot because you're always doing this kind of imaginative play.
Yeah.
What kinds of things do you like to pretend like you're doing? When you play in the backyard or you play around the house?
I sometimes pretend I'm being a Power Ranger.
A Power Ranger?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Like which one?
The White Ranger and Mighty Morphin.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
You like Tommy?
Yep.
And you're going to get to meet Jason David Frank in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
So that's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
And what else do you like to pretend to be? Do you? I know you have a lot of costume stuff and toy weapons and stuff. Do you play Ninja Turtles? And
I make up a Batman thing that's called Batboy, and I pretend to do that.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
And he doesn't just go pick up bats at baseball games and make sure that they go back where they go so that the batters can use them?
He's a Batman that doesn't have a mask.
Oh, interesting. So he's kind of like a Robin?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but he doesn't have a full face mask like Robins have mask. He doesn't have a mask at all? Like not even a domino mask?
No.
Oh. Well, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Maybe sometime down the road we'll do some kind of a video where we play with figures, or you show us some of the stuff that you like to do.
Uh-huh.
So let's go ahead and get into this. If you would like to watch the episode with us, and I certainly recommend you're watching it along with us as opposed to just listening to this as its own track, go to Netflix if you have that. It's Season 2, Episode 10. It's the first part of the 2 cartoons there, and you can also, of course, get your DVDs out. And just remember that if you watch it on DVD, there's that little Cartoon Network logo at the beginning on Netflix that I don't think is on the DVDs, so you'll want to jump ahead about 3 or 4 seconds. Get it past all the menus, get it to timestamp 0, and get ready to press play whenever Jayson says now. Are you ready, Jayson?
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Everybody, please press play right
now.
These boxes just don't like each other.
Yeah.
Just bouncing back and forth. So, would you play, if you were pretending outside or something, would you consider playing Powerpuff Girls?
Yeah.
Like, that'd be fun.
Uh-huh.
If you were doing a Powerpuff Girls scenario, what would first of all, which one would you play? Like, who would you be, and what would the scenario be?
Well, I would be Buttercup.
You'd be Buttercup?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to be Bubbles. And no one wants to be me! Except for me, apparently.
Yeah.
So, you'd be Buttercup,
Mm-hmm.
and what would the situation be?
Well, we would be fighting a giant dragon, like Charizard or something.
Oh, okay, so it's Buttercup versus Charizard?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. What would it take to beat him?
Well, they would have to have, fire breathing by trying to kill Mojo Jojo.
So you have to literally fight fire with fire?
Uh-huh.
Like the Powerpuff Girls would need to learn how to breathe fire?
Yeah.
Would you make that like an extra power?
Uh-huh.
like they somehow or rather they develop the ability to breathe fire.
Yeah.
Like, is it enough that they have heat vision, or would they have to actually breathe fire?
Mm-hmm.
They'd have to actually breathe fire.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Jayson, do you like it when it's raining?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You like the rain? Do you like to go out in the rain, or do you just like it when it, like being inside when it's raining?
I just like it when it's raining.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's funny that we're like, no crime today because it's raining, and then a couple of these later, and no crime fighting today because it's raining. Well, also because there's no crime.
Yeah.
Because there's also, no crime today.
Yeah.
No crime fighting today because cheese. I mean, because it's raining. I like the framework of this episode. It's more of a sketch than a story, but of course a lot of these are that way because it's a silly cartoon. The sketch is basically we're stuck in the house and we're not allowed, or we're not allowed to go out, and we can't go do what we like to do, which is go fight crime. And then at the end we discover that we'd actually prefer to be inside because we're having so much fun pretending. This is kind of grass is always greener thing. And this episode kind of resonates with me a little bit because of this idea that the more you see what you like to do as work, the more it can become work.
Yeah.
And so by the end, they don't want to go out and do exactly what they have been doing, but in real life. And that's a thing that I think all of us have experienced in some way or another. So there's some truth to that, and I think that's a lot of fun. Of course, Blossom, with her kind of anal, super efficient way of doing things, she's got to completely set up all of the status quo before anything can happen, but it is wonderfully. And then, of course, Bubbles is the mayor is the best thing ever.
Yeah.
But we're wonderfully reflecting the personalities of our characters. Where Buttercup just wants to be the monster and stomp in right away.
Yeah.
We should do this, Jayson.
Uh-huh.
You and I should build the city of Townsville.
Yeah.
And do this. That'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of Bubbles as the mayor?
Yeah, that is really funny.
What is better, Bubbles as the mayor or Bubbles as Mojo Jojo?
Bubbles is Mojo Jojo.
And they're both pretty darn hilarious.
Yeah.
I also like that when Blossom pretends to be Miss Bellum, she sticks her head off of where the camera would be. Because there's not actually a camera there, so this is, of course, from their perspective, where they're imagining where that camera would be. And that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
There's this kind of fourth wall breaking thing here too, where they know the formula, they know the framework of their own show. They interact with the narrator in different episodes.
Oh yeah.
And so they kind of know that they sort of know that they're in a TV show, or at least what the rules of this, comic book cartoony world are. And it's actually kind of funny that nobody plays the narrator. Although I guess Blossom does for a second, because it opens up and she says City of Townsville. So we do have that. This is one of my favorite arguments of anything.
Yeah.
You can't be Blossom. I actually am Blossom.
Uh-huh.
We're trying to figure out the rules. This is like we're really capturing what being a 6-year-old is like here, I think. And since you're a 6-year-old, do you agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
That they feel like real 6-year-olds.
Yeah.
Or at least as real as they're going to in this context. But kids have these sorts of arguments, right? Like these really arbitrary things of no, you can't do this. I can do this, and there's no rules. We're just playing pretend, but they're trying to figure out what the rules of that world would be.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I don't know what to say. It's just, but yeah, I mean, Possum as the mayor is really funny.
You mean Bubbles as the mayor?
Yeah.
Blossom we get to see Blossom also pretend to be Mojo Jojo, which is arguably as good as Bubbles, except that Bubbles is more fun because she actually thinks she's Mojo Jojo.
Yeah.
But Blossom does a pretty good Mojo impression.
Yeah, but that's really funny.
That's, of course, another thing that a lot of kids try to do, get their parents in on the pretend.
Yeah.
So here's another bit where the Powerpuff Girls are aware of the world they live in and kind of that they're in a TV show. When they're going choo 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 like that, what they're doing is the slow motion that this show is often doing, and that's a throwback to Hanna-Barbera and different cartoon action shows where we cut corners by not actually animating a thing, but just having a frame that fades into another frame that's slightly moved and another frame that's slightly moved, and that gives this this illusion of like dramatically in the moment slowing a thing down, as if you were getting hit in the face really hard, time would slow, and that's what they're doing, and I think that's really funny.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna make fun of all the villains, or at least a lot of the villains, and I like it when Buttercup points at Blossom. It's like, that's so true. It's absolutely hilarious. It's almost like seeing them like deconstruct and internalize the world they live in.
Yeah. But I mean, this episode is just so funny. Oh, and like you said, that is really funny.
So check out how how her blanket cape is blowing in the wind that's not there.
Yeah.
This episode is shot like a normal Powerpuff Girls episode. So it's like, even though, and I think that's why I love this one so much. Even though we're doing this really kind of mundane situation where it's just kids playing, it's shot like it's as epic as a regular monster fight episode.
Yeah.
And of course, we've already broken a wall. When I first saw this, I really expected the Powerpuff Girls to kind of blow up a bunch of stuff in their house. Like, I thought it would go too far, especially when we get toward the end and the other girls get angry with Blossom for pulling their video game out of the machine.
Yeah.
I kind of thought it would turn into the collateral damage thing, like from the movie, where you're playing tag and you're not thinking about your surroundings and you start blowing up everything, and it doesn't go there. And we do that so many times in other episodes that it's kind of fun, the twist that we actually end up getting at the end, where it's, oh, now we get to go do exactly what we have been pretending to do, but we don't want to. We'd rather pretend it.
Yeah.
And now Blossom is playing hide and seek, and this is another thing that I had this with my siblings when I was a kid, where I picked such a good hiding place that they got tired of looking for me, and then after a while I'm like, are you even trying to find me? And then they've gone off and they're doing something else, which is maybe kind of a commentary on short attention spans, especially because, and now they're playing video games. So Jayson, you really know your stuff with video games.
Yeah.
Anything about the system that they're playing on and the game that they're playing on the screen that seems a little weird and anachronistic? What system does that look like to you?
That kind of looks like the GameCube.
No. It's not a GameCube, and it's pre-GameCube. Look at their controllers. Check out the shape of the controller, and check out the stick. And then look at how the front of that system has 4 plugs, and it's still a cartridge machine. What is it?
64?
It's a 64, exactly. It's an N64. But what you're looking at on the screen looks like an Atari 2600 game. It looks like Pitfall. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
That's a thing that you see on TV a lot.
Uh-huh.
And part of that, I think, is like avoiding any kind of copyright thing or whatever. And I think some of it is just being kind of outside of time, where you're kind of mixing different time periods together.
Yeah.
Something else the show likes to do a lot is put M in front of everything. We have a store called Mouths that you see in a lot of different episodes, and we just shot a Murph gun.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder if Mojo Jojo was actually called something else, and then they just changed it to an M. I'm kidding. Yeah. So now there's a giant alligator, and Mojo Jojo sent it. And that's absolutely hilarious and absurd.
Yeah.
We talked over my favorite line, Bubbles saying, nobody wants to be me. Bubbles' upset outbursts are like one of my favorite things in this show.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's the whole episode. Once again, Kyle, with the dog one, you seemed like you were kind of just having fun watching it. So
yeah.
Well,
I was talking a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. But what do you think? Does that one remind you of like some of the playtimes that you've had?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, all right, thanks as always for listening, and we'll come back with you with some more Powerpuff Girls commentaries here for Powerpuff Month for the month of May, all month long here on Geekvolution. I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Jayson.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.